Hi, welcome to the first episode of my novel writing tips series where I will be discussing outlining versus not outlining. So first off, what is an outline? Well, an outline is a roadmap for your novel. It can be very simple or it can be very detailed, like a roadmap. It can be just, point A to point B. It can be point A to point B with all the stops along the way. Point A to point B with all the stops and all the things that they offer. It can be many, many different things, but it essentially tells you where you're going and usually how you're going to get there. And outlines can be very useful, of course, because not only does it tell you where you're going and how you get there, but you don't have to worry about fixing these things after you've already written the novel. So if you see a potential plot hole, or you've written the outline and then you notice a plot hole, well, you've probably only written maybe a few thousand words. Versus if you had written, say 30, 40,000 words into your novel and discover this plot hole, you're going to have to rewrite a whole lot more. So an outline allows you to figure out the different little details of your novel and get them set before you actually have to start writing. And a lot of authors find that this is actually a faster method for them because they do the outline and that might take a little while, but then the actual writing part is very easy and very quick because they know exactly where they're going. They just have to write it. Now, some people, however, prefer not to outline and they prefer just to jump right into it and just see what happens. Now, obviously, this method has some advantages and some disadvantages, as does outlining. The main advantage is, of course, you can just jump right in. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out your roadmap. But it does mean that when plot holes and things come up, you're going to have to rewrite a lot more. Rewriting is pretty standard when you have not outlined. So I'm going to refer to these different methods as plotting versus pantsing. I did not come up with these. These are pretty common terms that I found online, usually on Reddit. Plotting, of course, is just, plotting where the story is going. Pantsing is flying by the seat of your pants, which I just think is funny, and it's pretty true. Now, one of the things people sometimes don't realize when we're talking plotting versus pantsing is that most people actually have a hybrid of the two. It's never usually, completely outlining or completely pantsing. Even for myself, I am mostly a pantser. I cannot outline. I get so bored when I outline because I do not know where my story is going until I write it. My stories are driven by my characters, and my characters have minds of their own, and they tell me what they're going to do. But it's not like I don't have any idea where the story is going. I have certain points in my head where I want it to get to. I know the ending, and I know a couple of things that they're going to do to get there, but I don't know exactly where those things are going to be, and those things may change. But I write some notes. It's the loosest form of outlining you've ever seen. It's not even outlining. It's just a couple of bullet points on a Word document, and it's like, these are notes. These are things that might happen. But it's still a hybrid method, and I do a lot of the outlining in my head as I go. I try to outline like a little bit ahead, probably a couple chapters ahead of time. And they may change, but this is like, okay, well, this is kind of generally where we're going to go. So a lot of people have hybrid methods. And that's because there's definitely pros and cons to the outlining versus not outlining, plotting and pantsing. Lots of different reasons for and against. Like I said, a lot of people who outline find that it's a lot easier. They know where they're going. They don't have to rewrite. And a lot of people who pants like the freedom and they like how their stories turn out because they aren't restricted by their outlines. So you have to decide what method is going to be best for you. And if you don't know, I would suggest you actually try to outline first versus pantsing. If it doesn't sound like a daunting task. If it sounds like a monumental task to sit down and outline before you're going to start writing, you may need to pants. You may need to just sit your butt down in front of your computer or your notebook and start to write. If you can do that, you're probably a pantser. If you have no problem sitting down and writing, then you're probably a pantser, and that's fine. But you should try to sit down and try to outline first so you know which one you are. Because you may find that when you sit down and you outline, you think, oh, this isn't that bad. I can move the little pieces. It's like a little puzzle piece. I can make my puzzle and figure it out and go, oh, okay, so this is where my story is going to go from point A to point B to point C, to the end. I have it all laid out. And then try to write that novel and see how that works. And again, you may discover that even if you did outline, maybe outlining isn't for you. Or you may try to pants and realize my story is a complete mess. I need to do some outlining. So you really need to sit down and try one or both of these methods to figure out what is going to be best for you. Because neither method is going to 100% fit everybody. You need to figure out which one works better for you and then figure out, is there, what sort of middle ground do I want? Do I want to be like 80% plotting and 20% pantsing, or 100% plotting? Like, no, we are plotting. Nothing is up to chance. Nope. We are going to go with 100%. Most people don't do that. Most people, even when they're outlining, they come up with like, oh, this sounds interesting. I'm going to change this, and they change it in the outline versus changing it while they're writing. So yeah, try these, figure out what's going to work best for you. Since I do not outline, I don't know the different methods of outlining, but there are a lot of good resources online. Google is your best friend. Just, Google, how do I outline my novel? I know a very popular method is the snowflake method. I don't actually really know what that is. I imagine it's starting from a core idea and then branching off and, figuring out what all is going on. But yeah, so that is kind of what you need to do. After you've gotten your idea and you're something to write with, you need to figure out if you're going to outline it or if you're just going to jump right in. And I'm probably going to talk about, at some point, probably not necessarily in the next video, about what to do if you are a pantser, but you still kind of want to know where it's going. Different things on how to do that, since that's what I'm familiar with. But I'll probably discuss that in a future video. We'll discuss more about what to do after you have your outline or after you've started writing next time. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful or informative, or at least a good waste of time. And if you'd like to see more of these, please like, subscribe. You can hit the notification bell if you want. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.